Hey everyone, it's Anna Runyon. Welcome back to the Classy Career Girl podcast. Today's episode is for you if you want to start a business, but you are feeling a little unsure about that, especially with everything that's happening in the market, economy, and you want to start a business, but you don't have much to invest and you don't want to break the bank. And so we're going to be talking about that today. So, what if I told you the biggest risk isn't investing in your business, it's not starting at all? And so many aspiring women entrepreneurs, they stay stuck because they're scared to spend money. So it's actually a bigger risk to not do anything at all. And we're going to talk about that today because today I'm going to show you how to start smart, even on a tight budget, and prove that you do not need thousands of dollars to begin building the business of your dreams. Now, I remember when I wanted to leave my 9 to 5 and build my own business, I was terrified. Every course really did feel like a luxury. And I kept thinking, what if I fail? But what I didn't realize then was that inaction was costing me more than any tool or program I was afraid to buy. And eventually I took one small step. I downloaded a resource online of someone, a mentor, someone who knew more than me about starting a business. And I started showing up online. First with my blog, classycareergirl.com. And then started doing some videos. This was a long time ago. So this was back in 2012-ish. And I eventually did quit my 9 to 5 in 2014 when my first daughter was born and went full time into coaching and into running my own business. And I also joined a low cost group coaching program. Even when I was working my day job, I still was getting coached. I was still getting training and tools and resources. That's when everything really started to shift for me. So, some important keys that I want to share with you. These are the things I wish I would have known when I was starting my business, and I eventually learned them. But I wish someone would have told me all this. You don't need to go into debt to start a business. You can cash flow your business startup. Actually, investing in a course did force me to start taking action. So I am a fan of investing in yourself. At that time, my first course that taught me how to launch my own programs and my own courses and create my own brand online, it was about $297 per month. This was about 2012-ish. And I knew I had to make that money back each month. So I invested in like a year-long program. I put the money down and I committed. I was still working a day job that I wanted out of. I was completely stuck. I was like, this is not my future. I do not want to be here. And I made the decision to cash flow right from the start. So I do not teach you need to go get a credit card and go into debt, but I want you to learn how to cash flow. Let's start to make that money in your business right away so you can start to cash flow your expenses. I bought that course. I booked sales calls the next week and I made back that 297 the following week. I used what I learned in the course. I got the community and the coaching support that I needed to go for it. And I said, I am doing this. I can do this. This is possible. More than anything, it was an investment in myself and it allowed me to really believe in myself and to commit to myself as well too. Like I was going to do this. So yes, we need to start our businesses and have low costs so we can cash flow that business from the start. And one of my favorite questions that I always ask new entrepreneurs when I'm doing coaching with them is what could you sell to make $100 tomorrow if you had to? Like what would be that first thing to sell and do it? Don't overthink, put it out there, see what happens because the first sale is the hardest, but then it gets so much easier after that. And the possibilities are endless as long as you focus on a problem and you solve it. So I'm going to go over some tips today to start a business with low expenses so you can cash flow it. It is possible. The first thing I want you to remember is to start with free resources to build your confidence. Now, you do not need a website, you do not need a fancy email list system. I know you might be spending a lot of time on that. You do not especially need to hire a social media manager or designer or anything like that. I started for free with MailChimp for my email list provider and blogger.com back in the day. Both were free. So instead of having a website, I would recommend using social media. It's free. I would recommend using a Calendly link to book a call on someone then can book a time to talk to you on your calendar and then start talking to people. So that would be the link I would send around, just your calendar. Let's start talking to people, tell them what you do, start helping people, and then make a goal in the next 6 to 12 months then to create your website. I really want you just to start helping people and start solving problems and start building and cash flowing your business. Some of the things that I would do if I was just starting out to just have very low expenses, you can create a podcast for very low expenses for free. You can do YouTube for free. You can have free master classes, free templates that you can provide to people. Free, you can create free guides. So Zoom is free if you have a 40-minute call. So you could do free classes, free webinars, um, free sales calls. As long as everything's under 40 minutes, you can have a free calendar on Calendly so people can start booking calls with you. Facebook Lives are free. Facebook groups are free. Instagram Live is free. LinkedIn is free. YouTube is free. All of this is free. We use a platform called Libsyn, Libsyn, to host our podcast. And I literally only pay, it's less than $10 a month to get a podcast and just to have a podcast as well too. And like we talked about, YouTube is free. All of this is free, right? So anyone telling you it's a ton of money to market and you have to spend all your money to build a business is not telling you the truth. Focus on taking action with what you do have instead of waiting for the perfect moment or the most expensive tool. Keep it simple. I know I started very basic. Also, you guys all have Canva. I did not have that when we started back in the day. I had to hire a designer to help me make these beautiful graphics. You can make such beautiful graphics on Canva using their templates that they have. So keep it simple. Use your own free resources, give out free content, give out free PDFs, free guides, free masterclasses, free calls, just get started. And if you've heard me coach before, I always say just go out there and help one person every single day. Go solve problems, get out of your head, and so go start taking action. The other thing that I want, this next second thing I want to remind you is really to calculate your cost right now of inaction. So I want to encourage you to ask yourself, what is staying stuck costing me in time, in energy, in money, in happiness? And if you spend 6 more months hesitating, that's 6 months of lost income, lost clients, lost momentum. That's 6 months of just learning what does work and what doesn't work. And when I look back at my journey, my early mornings on the side of my day job, my late nights and weekends, all on that side of my day job. There was a time period where I was even going to business school at night and still doing my business. It was just hard. And then throwing a newborn in there and trying to do all this full time in 2014, it was not easy. And even now, I sometimes think I'm crazy for everything on my plate. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 girls, running a business that supports our family. I'm right there with you, looking at the time on my calendar, trying to find the time, putting my priorities into my daily habits, blocking out time for what's important. I feel like life just keeps getting busier. And the thing that I can see now, that is different is that I can see your future, right? If you start making the steps we teach, focusing on your priorities, focusing on the right things that we teach when it comes to going from employee to entrepreneur, especially if you're going through our corporate rescue plan training program. I know what's your future if you start making those baby steps now. And if you want your vision board, if you have that vision board, or if you know what you want in your future, you can create that. When you think like 10 years from now, I have that benefit of seeing myself over the 10 years, hustling away. I could still be at my day job and very miserable. And when I look back of quitting that job in 2014 and all the work that I did before I quit, and then when I did quit, I was working again really, really hard to what I see now. I see like the ups and the downs and the consistency that I had. And then I see me achieving the vision board that I had. I see when I look back at my vision board, I can see things that did come true, the things that did happen. And over this last year, we had the time freedom to run our business from Europe for a year with our girls. And we had that time flexibility to be able to travel. We spent a month at a time around Europe, and it was incredible. And we also have the time, flexibility to be able to have my own business, to make the decision now to homeschool my daughters, running homeschool groups and nature clubs with other moms, and honestly, absolutely loving it. And that was not in my plan. That I had no plans to homeschool my kids before they were born. I did not think this was going to be my plan. But it makes sense now because I love teaching you guys. I love teaching adults, and so it just kind of is completely natural to really enjoy teaching my kids too, especially my daughter who's 10, and that's been really fun too, and kind of relearning or I should say learning things for the first time that I did not learn when I was younger. And it's funny because I married a teacher with a teaching credential. So my husband, when we got married, he was a teacher. I had no plans to be a teacher, and here I am, loving being a homeschooling mom. No plans to change that in the future, but then loving that I can do that on the side of running my business as well. And so, what I'm trying to share with you with my story is just that 10 years ago, I had no idea what I wanted in my life exactly. I barely had a newborn, but I knew I wanted to be my own boss someday so that I could have more of that time freedom for my family. I wanted to travel, although that's really all I knew that I wanted in the next 10 years. And 10 years later, because of those baby steps, the time I put into that little baby side hustle for years, now I see the fruits of that. And I'm so glad I made those steps. I did every single thing I did because now I look 10 years and I can see where that all that led to. And now I look 10 years from now and I just know if I just stay consistent, if I keep on going, I don't know what 10 years from now looks like. I know I'll have a college student, a high schooler, a new teenager. I don't know, I don't know what I will want at that time, but I do know I will want time with my family, time to travel. I want to make sure I'm doing work I love. I don't want to have a boss. I don't want to feel stuck. I don't want to not be making an impact with my strengths. Like those are really important to me. I want to be making an impact using my strengths, living my full potential, living out my purpose. And that requires that I put time and effort into my dreams and goals today. Whether that's, I always say, people always ask, like, how long does it take to do your program? How much time do I need? And I'm like, 15 minutes a day or 1 hour per week. You can make so much progress on your goals and dreams if you have 15 minutes a day. So, once again, I want to encourage you to ask, what is staying stuck costing me in time, energy, money, happiness over the next 6 months to over the next 10 years? Like, what is that, not doing anything now? What is that costing you? The third thing I want to talk about today is some low-cost tech tools. Now, I'm going to give you some of my favorites. I want to walk you through this guide that I created for you all. You can go get this free guide. It's at www.classycareergirl.com/business tools. So you can see I have over 71 must-have tools for small business owners. And I want to walk through it and kind of give you some of my favorites right now. And then you can actually go get this guide and go get all the links and make sure you have the full guide in front of you. And um, so one of the first things I always recommend to clients is to do the Strengths Finder assessment. And that's important because I want you to look inward first. I want to make sure that you know what your ideal career or business is and that you are working in your strengths. So no matter what we do, I want to like our purpose here is career fulfillment for all women. So that especially counts and includes us entrepreneurs too. Like as you start a business, there you realize there's a lot that you have to do, and a lot of business owners get stuck. A lot of them quit. A lot of them, go back to day jobs as well too because they didn't start the ideal business for them. So that's a lot of what we teach throughout our whole corporate rescue plan training program, our employee to entrepreneur success path, is we teach you how to start the right business for you. Another book that really impacted me is the book The One Thing. It's kind of like a required reading in my program. I put a little pressure on to read that book because when you do start a business, like I said, there's a lot to do. There's so many different directions. There's a lot of overwhelm. Other people make it look easy, but it's not. And so this book really helps you focus on like what is the most important thing for you to be able to do to get the results that you want. Um, of course, a 90-day plan is important. A weekly to-do list is important. You can get our free weekly planner and our free 90-day planner at classycriggle.com/free plan. So those are some free tools that you want to have as well. The other ones that I use, so today we still always use Dropbox. So that is a tool that we use to host and to store all of our files. I use Google Drive, Google Email, Google Calendar all the time. That's free. Asana is a really great tool to help you prioritize and manage all of the tasks and projects that you have. So this is free too, as long as you have a smaller team, which if you're just starting, it might even just be you. So it's completely free. You can't get all their like fancy features, but you really don't need them. What I do is I create a project. So for example, I have a launch coming up next month. And so I create a project and I just I kind of do a brain dump of all the things that I need to do for that launch. And I assign a person on the team and a due date, and that just kind of helps me visualize and see what needs to be done. I mentioned Libsyn. So we use Libsyn, Libsyn, to help us host our podcast. So what you're listening to right now. Some of the other ones, let's see. We use WordPress.org. So when it does come time to create a website, that is when you're creating a website, you're going to need hosting. And so Bluehost is our recommended website host for beginning website entrepreneurs. And then we've always used WordPress.org for our website. Other ones that you can look at for email lists. So MailChimp, like I mentioned, that is where we started. That is a free email list provider. And then I think it's $10 a month if you want to add like automation to it as well. So that is a good place to start. Other ones are Aweber or ConvertKit. Those are some options that we recommend for email list providers. But even when you're just starting, so this is even like new, if you're just starting, literally use your email. You probably already know a ton of people. You can just use, I do this as well. Like when I'm reaching out to people after I've talked to them, I use my personal email when I'm checking in. Like say I have a sales call with someone and they didn't end up joining, 30 days or 60 days, I'll reach back out to them personally just through my email, my personal email as well too. So do not worry about using your personal email. You can even use your personal Facebook profile, your LinkedIn profile to start DMing people as well too. So those are all great options as well. Okay, so I want you to go download this guide. There's so many other tools. Canva is in here. That's another one I mentioned. That is a great tool to use to create your social media graphics. We have our lawyer in here as well too. She is amazing, Christy Westerveld. So we link to her as well too. So go grab this tool guide. You can get it at www.classycriggle.com/business tools. Go grab that, download that, look through it, and use it. Start getting familiar with a lot of the free tools that are available to you as a new business owner. So just remember, kind of to wrap things up today, you don't have to go all in financially to begin your business. Start with free tools to gain clarity, understand the real cost of staying stuck, and invest wisely when you're ready, especially getting yourself into a community-based support like a coaching program or going through our success path like we have in our membership. And every successful entrepreneur you admire once started exactly where you are. So, like I said, if you want to see the exact tools I used when I was starting out, many of them are free or super affordable. You can get our Ultimate Business Tools list. It's packed with some of the platforms, apps, and resources that I recommend to all of my clients, so you can start building your business your way without the overwhelm. And you can get that at www.classycriggle.com/ business tools. Hope this has been helpful. Hopefully, I will see you guys next time. Bye.